Hi, Godzilla Medicine, PlayStation, Medic Maniac, YouTube, and this is kinda take two. I've just done this whole speech, impassioned speech about driving games and stuff, and gone over time, so I've got to fit it within 15 minutes, so here we go. Hopefully this will work. I've been watching videos on YouTube to do with proper motorsport from people that I went to see at Silverstone. Like I saw Johnny Herbert win, I saw Damon Hill race. I've been watching videos of Nigel Mansell. Me and my mate used to follow the racing when Mansell was chasing down the title and stuff. I've watched videos to do with Damon's dad, Graham, Mr. Monaco, and I've also been watching YouTubers covering driving games who are driving game focused YouTubers, covering games that I played over the years and that I have in my collection. I have quite a wide collection of games from different formats. And remembering some of the games that I played and started on. And the thing that strikes me is when in the real world of motorsport, like Damon's dad, Graham Hill, he was known as Mr. Monaco because he won the Monaco Grand Prix quite a lot. And he had a notebook with all settings for his car. And drivers would work with their, crew to set up their car for different things, like they'd have a race trim, or they'd have qualifying trim, and they'd have spare cars that weren't set up for them, which some drivers had to use, and it was more difficult because it wasn't tailor set up for them and their driving style. And that's kind of a theme for games I played. It started with a game called Revs on the Commodore 64, made by Jeff Hammond, and that had adjustable wing. It was a Formula 3000 simulator, and that's where I get my little tag that I use in my games, Max Throttle. It was from a character in that game called Mad Max Throttle. And then there were other games on other systems like N64, F1 World Grand Prix, which I absolutely adored, and that too had customizable settings for your car. And it had like free practice and a proper race weekend of practices and time trial, qualifying laps and warm-ups, and you could adjust it to the full race Grand Prix, which I used to do. I used to love that game. And then onto the OG Xbox, there was stuff like Rally Sport Challenge 2. It was a brilliant game, and you'd have different settings that you could adjust on your cars. And obviously onto Forza Motorsport, which was, the whole building and tuning and painting and stuff. And then Forza Motorsport 2, 3 and 4 on the Xbox 360, which were completely in depth, and I totally got into all the aspects of that. And, games like this and obviously GT Sport have settings and stuff for cars. And it's like, I watch some of the YouTubers and they'll give a critique on a game and critique on how it handles, and they'll say either it's understeery or it's oversteery. But they won't bother going into the menus to set up their car, to adjust the springs or the tyre pressure or the roll bars, or, they won't adjust the caster or the toe or the differentials for the different drivetrains, forward-wheel drive, all-wheel drive, or rear-wheel drive. They won't bother with that. How can you critique handling on a car if you're not doing what the real-world motorsport men did, Mr. Monaco and others, and working and setting up your car? You can't critique handling. And some of these YouTubers have got like loads and loads of followers and stuff, and they're proper dedicated racing game YouTubers, but they're not helping the community that they're building up who come to watch their videos, because they're not giving an accurate critique of the handling and physics models, because they're not delving into all of the game that the game has to offer. And I looked at this and I was a bit kind of stunned, because it's like, it's not like I wasn't looking for proper, serious driving YouTubers. I was. It wasn't like I wasn't looking for people as impassioned as me. I was. But nobody was covering it. And much like my other video where I highlighted poor design choices, I feel that that's an oversight in games like this and Forza Motorsport, is that these games have a lot more to offer than getting in your car and just driving, which seems to be what YouTubers try and cover. And then they'll critique, as I said, on that. These games have much more than that. There's a much more impassioned bit to these games that wants to involve you. It wants to help you to share your passion by partaking in getting a car, putting your particular build on it, putting your particular settings on it to suit your driving style, allowing you to customize its livery and decorate it, and in your own unique way. And trust me, because I've done this, when you do that with a car and you make it truly yours, the feeling that you get from enjoying driving that is unmatched. I've mentioned this before, it's an unmatched level of customization in any game. But these games, by their design choices, aren't helping players to understand how to use these functions, how to learn them, and how to learn to use them for the players. There's a lot of players who do the painting. There's a lot of players who will do the setting up. But when I say a lot, it'll be a really tiny amount of the broader audience that this could reach. And I just feel it's a shame. It's a real shame. I saw one YouTuber saying, how can we get people who don't... this particular game that he was critiquing didn't do anything to attract people who didn't generally play driving games. And I thought, well, why would you want it to attract people who don't like driving games? Surely you'd want to cater to the people who do, and really sort of zone in on those people who love motorsport. Surely that's the ticket. So if we go in here to Garage, this design choices could be something like having videos to show you how to, set up, build and put parts in to set up cars in front-wheel drive, all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive. It could help players get a grasp of things and what does what and how the maths work in their model. Similarly with painting, they could be video tutorials about how to do basic shapes and how to, from basic to sort of more intricate shapes, to help players to learn how to craft different looks and do different things in the editor. So if you're doing that and helping people how to get a grasp from the basics to the intricacies of setting up your car for different tracks and how to build your different cars for different tracks, and you're getting, help to giving help to players, help to learn how to paint. I mean, you've dedicated an entire section to helping people, or to licenses, to photographs. Delivery editors in there somewhere. It's a major part of customization, about the individual customization and people sharing their motorsport passion, and it's hidden away. These games aren't helping players to learn all that the game has to offer. And imagine if you're a development team and you've put money and time and effort into all these parts of your game, and much of the player base isn't using them at all, simply because nobody has thought to teach you how to do it. So I just thought I'd share that because I think that's a poor design choice, and I'd like to see that amended. I'd like to see somebody care to amend it. Anyway, God's Home Editing, over and out.